My name's Joanna Bowers and I'm a film director, a screenwriter and a producer working in Hong Kong, filming throughout Asia, making international content to share with the world. To be honest, there is no typical day. If I'm developing a project, if I'm writing, then that's at my desk, at my laptop, perhaps working with partners, collaborating on ideas. If I'm filming a project, well, then I could be anywhere, out scouting locations, on set. That's my favourite time. I love the aspect of directing where I get to collaborate with a whole team of incredibly talented people. Or if I'm in post-production on a project, well, then that means that I'm in the edit suite, I'm working with the sound designer, the composer. It really can be completely and utterly varied from day to day and week to week. And that's one of the things I love about what I do. I would say that the best part of my job is I love telling stories that nobody else is telling. I love finding those women's stories, the minority stories, just something that I haven't ever seen before, and I feel incredibly privileged as a filmmaker that I get to tell these stories and put them out into the world, and entertain and inform people with things that they might never have heard about before or learned about. To be honest, I didn't have a clue that I wanted to be a director for a long, long time, even though my degree was in broadcast journalism and we studied documentary filmmaking. And even though I began working in Los Angeles as a commercial director's assistant, there just weren't many women in the industry. And there certainly weren't female directors that I was able to watch what they did and aspire to be that. So it wasn't until a friend of mine asked me to direct a short film that I went, oh, hold on a minute. You know, I do have the necessary skill set, I do have the experience, maybe I can do this. And after my first day on set directing, I loved it and was like, oh, I found my passion. But maybe I wish I'd found it earlier, which I think if there were more female role models out there in the world, or if there had been then, that would have been easier for me. So that's why it's really important to be out there inspiring girls today. A key moment in my career journey would be the theatrical release in cinemas of my first feature documentary film, The Helper. I was thrilled to bits that my first ever feature documentary actually made it into cinemas and that people actually went to see it. It was a wonderful word of mouth thing where women would essentially tell other women who would buy tickets and go with their friends, and I was so lucky and so privileged, and we ended up staying in the cinemas for 3 months because of that, which was an incredible success, and I was just thrilled to bits about that. It kind of comes down to trust your gut. On my first film set, on my first ever shoot, one of my first ever shoot days, we had a conflict on set. My script supervisor and my cinematographer had a disagreement over eye lines, and I didn't know who to go with. I didn't know who to trust. I was a fairly new director and I wasn't sure about making that call and didn't want to mess up something that would then ruin my edit later on. But I knew that I'd worked with my cinematographer and really talked through everything and had a prepared shot list, and I knew that I could trust him, whereas my script supervisor was someone a little bit newer that I wasn't so sure of. So I went with my gut and I trusted the cinematographer as a collaborative team member, and it was the right call. So I guess trusting your gut, knowing what you're doing and being confident that, you know, you've got it and you can do it is really important.